What's up everyone, Lance Hedrick here. Today, I'm gonna do a very quick, abbreviated guide to latte art. So beginnings, the basics, the threshold, the floor. Very fast, so get ready for quick chatter and go. All right, so before going with this super abbreviated, going against my verbose self video, I would like to ask if you're appreciating these short forms of videos or just any videos I do, hit the like, hit the subscribe, share it with a friend, leave a comment saying, yo, your sweater is sweet. Do any of those things, that would be really great. Anyway, we're gonna just look at latte art very quickly. I have a 30-minute guide I'll link right here, maybe it's 35 minutes, which is very thorough. I would highly recommend doing that, but I know not everyone has attention for a college lecture from a weirdo like me, so here's a quick little whatever this ends up being minute tutorial. First and foremost, all latte art is white foam being painted on brown foam. The brown foam is our canvas, the white foam is our paint. So in the same way that a painter stretches a canvas over a wooden frame, we're taking some white foam and we're pouring it into the brown crema in order to give it sufficient foam to hold the white foam. All right, so what's going on is when we're pouring our steamed milk out of our pitcher, we're pouring it and the foam is always going to sit on top. So it's like diving out of the pitcher like choreographed swimmers, right? So it's going to dive out, but the top part, wherever you look at your milk, the top part is always that microfoam, always the foam, the paint that we're painting our latte art with. So if we take our level of milk here, and we tilt the pitcher, the level of milk is still here. As we pour, the foam is still on top. It's always going to be on top. So when you think about it, as you're pouring, the milk's coming out, but there's foam on the top part of your pour and no foam on the bottom part of your pour. So what latte art is synchronized swimming, the foam coming and skating on top of the surface, and the dense part of the foam sinking. And that's going to carry trajectory so that we can use the malleability in our cup for latte art designs. So that's all it is. We're taking paint from our pitcher, and we're painting on the canvas that we've created in the cup. So briefly, quickly, the first thing you have to do is after you have your Silky Milky, which of course, here's my quick Silky Milky tutorial. In a second, I'll link my Exhaustive Silky Milky tutorial. But the first thing you have to do is lay that base, set your canvas. The espresso does not have sufficient foam to hold up the design. So we're gonna donate some foam from our milk into here. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. Now the amount of milk that you donate in there is gonna be dependent on the design you want to do. Obviously, the more milk you pour in, the more foam is going to be in this cup. Make sense? Very intuitive. So the more milk we pour, the more foamy it gets. And I like to call that concretization. The more we pour, the more concretized this cup gets. So if we want a really complex design, we're going to pour just a little bit of milk at the beginning because we want it to be really malleable for those big wiggles and for those cool looking ripples. If we're wanting to make, just a simple heart, or if we're wanting to make some sort of stacked tulip design where it's just layer after layer, we're going to pour a little bit more at the beginning for more control, for more concretization. I think about it like this. When someone pours concrete, the first day when you put your hands into it, it won't hold its shape. The second day you put your hands into it, it holds the shape pretty well. Not super defined, not super distinct, but it'll hold it pretty well. Day 3, you put your hands in, it holds it, but you have to push kind of hard. Day 4, you're barely making an indentation. Day 5, it's hard as a rock, okay? Same thing happens here. The more we pour, the more concretized it gets. Now, all we're going to do for the basics of latte art is we need to learn how to pour a heart. After we have laid our base of that base foam, just pouring at a medium flow rate, not really fast, not trickling out of your pitcher, we're going to tilt the cup, all right, as much as we can to get the level of the liquid to the lip of the cup. Now this is important because we need proximity, spout proximity, so stinking important. I can't stress this enough. The spout needs to be as close as possible. The more gravity, the more separation between the spout and the surface of the liquid, gravity will take effect. 9.8 meters per second square is not your friend, okay? We don't want that to interact. So instead of pouring from here, okay, if we have our pitcher filled up to here, then we tilt it, we can only tilt this much. Okay, so if we have the cup flat, look how much distance there is between about a 30% fill and the spout. Well, the foam's not going to stay up top. Those synchronized swimmers are going to drown. So what we got to do is we got to tilt it so the synchronized swimmers know exactly where to go. All right, so you got to tilt that cup, get the liquid at the very lip, and then we're going to start our pour. For a heart, we're going to do just that. We're going to lay about 30–40% of the cup full with milk, pouring at that medium flow rate, tilt the cup till it's at the lip, go in about 1 inch or 2 centimeters inside the cup, making contact. We'll make a little ping, ping, ping. We're going to make a little just like that, okay? So we're gonna make that ping right there, and then you're just gonna start pouring faster and faster and faster and faster until about 90% full. And then all we're gonna do is you're gonna slow down your pour, you're gonna lift, okay, because lifting, gravity, we're saying gravity. Now it's your turn to come make a really cool effect. You're gonna lift, gravity is gonna come on in, march on in, and it's going to sink down the middle, and that's going to make the blob we create into a heart. I know this is all in the theoretical, so I'm gonna show you right now on the screen. Cue the dog barking. Gotta love the timing. All right, so I've got my milk and espresso ready, so here we go. First thing I'm going to do is lay that base. You see, I'm just going at a medium flow rate. Then I'm going to stop. I'm going to tilt all the way to the lip. And I'm just going to pour faster, 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 faster. Then watch. I'm just going to lift, slow down, and look at gravity. Okay, so you see what gravity did there. We're going to show it again in slow motion here in just 1 second. But as you see, and I'm going to use my WDT tool to point this out, I made the blob come out because the foam was just skating on top as I made the spout proximity as close as possible. And then I just barely pushed forward. I lifted up, and now the foam's not sitting on top. Now the foam is acting as a sinkhole, and all the foam is following that sinkhole because it wants to go deep down. Think about pouring water on top of, if you put powder or something on top of water and you poured water, it would sink right where the water flow is going. Same thing is going on here. So we're manipulating that sinkhole to make a cut down the middle in order to create a blob into a heart. All right, so now we're going to show that again in slow-mo. All right, so as you're seeing, you lay the base. In this slow-mo video, you're laying the base, and then I stop, I tilt that cup, I enter, and look, the foam is just skating on top like the synchronized swimmers they are, and then boom, at the end, I slow down, I lift, and I cut through. All right, so that was super fast. I know it was crazy. I hope that it all made sense. Watch it over, ask questions in the comments. I'll do my best to get to as many of them as I can. And yeah, I hope that was helpful. It was a little over the 5 minutes I was expecting, but we will end on a wiggled heart, just B-roll, and I'll talk quickly about that as it's going. But yeah, please like this video. Please share it with friends, subscribe, leave some comments. Anything really helps me. Really appreciate you. But yeah, let's end on this right now. All right, to end, we're gonna do a rippled heart, and all you're gonna do here, it's the same thing as that solid heart, but you're gonna rock the pitcher using your elbow. So watch, I do everything the same. I lay my base, I'm gonna stop, I'm going to enter about an inch or a couple centimeters in, and look, I'm just rocking. And then I'm going forward as I rock. I stop, lift, sinkhole, and done. All right, so we'll end on that. Hope you all brewed something tasty today, and cheers.